Welcome, I'm Renaya, and today we cover another portion of our ongoing series. But first, consider the following two questions. Question 1. Question 2. And both to be answered now on today's Food to Go, Ancient Words for Modern Man. Let's begin. Verse 11. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer. So this verse is pretty straightforward. Pretty much we're being told that we need to listen more than we are speaking. And it can be generalized to the gist of 2 ears, 1 mouth rule of thumb. And most time, if you work within these parameters, most men will hang themselves. They will give up information themselves that betrays them. And you can actually see the hearts of men as well by that one aspect of you hearing and you hearing things fully and letting people finish up their thought. And I love this quote that has been attributed to Eugene O'Neill that says that the Most High gave us mouths that close and ears that don't, and that should tell us something. And I think that is so true. We need to hear more than we speak. However, there are exceptions, and for that, I reference anyone to look at 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 23, which tells us clearly to avoid foolish and unlearned questions. People may ask anything that they want to and have this expectation that you have to answer it, when many times people are just simply being lazy. It's easy just to find someone and allow them to do all the heavy lifting while to get away scot-free. And as someone who has searched for information yourself, you know that can become tiresome, and this can generate friction. It can create strife between people. And this next slide just showing this. Someone asking a foolish question. And morning children playing marbles, and it's obvious to everyone that they're playing marbles. There's no need for any question. It's just laziness. Sometimes people may want to say that it's just trying to create conversation, but we need to be beyond this. If there's things that we can notice ourselves, then there's no need for any questioning. If you want to participate, then that would be something that need to be inquired. But the reality of them playing is something that could be dismissed altogether because it's reasonable. There's no blindness involved. Verse 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. So here we come to question 1. Should the righteous attempt to answer all? And the simple answer is no. The righteous are in no way obligated to answer every whim and fancy of people. People will get ridiculous. Sometimes people are asking things facetiously. You can tell it from their intonation, from the tone of their voice, from their body language. And the Messiah himself avoided questions many times, but challenged the person with another question that cut to the heart of why they were even asking what they were asking. And if there's something that you're unaware of, cover your mouth. Create no kind of pitfall for you in the future. If it's something that you have yet to learn or studied out, and as long as people are asking things that are reasonable, then say, I'll get back to you on that. Verse 13. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. So question 2. What brings about the fall of man? And this should be very self-evident. Is the tongue. We get ourselves in a lot of trouble because of our tongue. And looking at this next image here, we have a picture of an elephant that has fallen into a pit. And this is what our words become. The weightiness that keeps this elephant down in the pit is akin to our words and how they hold us down and allow us to stay stuck. And we may fall, never to rise again, because of the waves that our speech puts forth into the world. I would also recommend looking at James chapter 3, verse 6, which tells us that the tongue sets the world on hellfire, and just showing how powerful our speech and our words can be in just the reality that is around us. It shows our faithfulness or our lack thereof. Verse 14a, be not called a whisperer, and lie not in wait with thy tongue. So let's break down this first portion of verse 14 right now. What does it mean to be a whisperer? Whisperer is just another term for a talebearer, gossipmonger, or busybody. People who like to say things on the down low. And Pretty much they get their high, their buzz out of talking about people behind their back. So what does this look like? Well, people become very quiet around you. They're whispering shh, so they can continue when you're out of sight. Verse 14b, for a foul shame is upon the thief, and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue. So what shame? Well, the shame of being a coward. You're unable to speak before the person, and the only way that you can get your point across is by going behind them and telling others so that you're tainting their impression of the individual before the other person has even had a chance to defend himself. Now, going further, it talks about being a thief. What are you stealing? You're stealing other person's integrity by dismissing them outright, and they're unable to save face. It's just things that are done in the dark. So you're stealing away the good name of the individual. And then it says an evil condemnation or judgment. Okay, what condemnation? Well, when you start gossiping, you are putting that impression on other people's mind. They will remember. They may eat off the morsels that you put forth about someone, but then as far as them trusting you with information, they will be hesitant because of what has been put forth by you concerning others. It is going to be upon the double tongue. So they'll act all nice and cordial, but when they get behind back, it's the snake talk meant to destroy the person. So going on, what's wrong with gossip? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's about the good name. And when we look at Proverbs chapter 22, verse 1, it tells us that a good name, a reputation, trust, is preferable over great riches, because you can get ill-gotten riches and then you can never get it again once they are exhausted. But if you have a good name, then you can build up and accumulate wealth because you're doing it properly, because people can rely on you. Finally, verse 15, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. And all the verse means about being ignorant is being unaware. So in everything, have some kind of recognition, some kind of ability to comprehend what's going on, large or small. What you do on a small level is what you're going to do on a larger level. And people may ask, but how? Well, Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 through 8 tells us, and Messiah simply said, seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. But the problem in our society is that most people do the very opposite. They just want a quick answer, a quick fix, which requires very little of them, and therefore nothing is gained. And therefore when it comes to the test or the time of trial, that information is never retained. So having that experience is what brings about the best results by the hard labor and hard work that goes beforehand to prepare an individual for any given situation. So finally, what's the ultimate result of seeking and finding? And I think that Proverbs chapter 25 verse 2 tells it the best. It simply implies that you receive a proper induction into royalty, in true royalty, which comes only from the Most High. Let's review. Now for our sword ready verse. And that's a wrap. Until next time, Shalom.